What's up, everybody? It's Enrique Milwaukee of Screen Printing, and today we're going to be doing a video on how to print shirts for a famous boxer. So we're printing a few things on these shirts. So the customer or the boxer, he wanted yellow shirts. He wanted his logo on the left chest. He wanted the boxing club that he's a part of, or like the promotional company on the right, and then he wanted his team name on the back, and then his city, and then on each sleeves he wanted the flags. So he wanted a Mexican flag and an American flag. And if you know about the Mexican flag, not only is it green, white, and red, but it has the color, it has the brown, and then like the yellows and the red, and then the cream for the eagle holding the snake, all those colors mixed in. And then the American flag, which is red, white, and blue. And you all know as screen printers, when you do, especially like sleeve prints, doing something with so much detail can be a little bit harder, especially if it's multiple colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something that will make your life a lot easier when doing full color sleeve prints. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to jump into the order. I'm going to print the backs first. So I'll print the team name and the city on the back, and then once those are done, we'll print the chest prints, and then from there we'll jump into the steps of both the sleeves. So when the shirts came, we got these gold shirts, and we're going to be printing red ink. So whenever we print dark color on a light color, you only have to do one coat. I'm going to hit it with two just so that it's vibrant and it sticks out a little longer and it pops out a little bit better. Because this boxer, he's a Milwaukee boxer, but he's fighting with Benavidez. He's on that camp. And Benavidez, as you all know, he's been trying to call out Canelo Alvarez for few years now. So I think Canelo, as we all know, he's the top of boxing at the moment, and being able to call out Canelo, and for somebody to be afraid of Canelo, I don't know, for Canelo to be afraid of this guy says a lot about this guy. So I feel like when you have customers like this, you have to go above and beyond, because even though they're like high up there right now in the sports industry and in like the public eye, they could even get bigger. And if you kind of stay down with them and kind of keep giving them what they need and providing custom garments or like high quality garments for them, they're gonna be happy. And once they get to the next level, they're gonna keep you in mind. So always do what you can for people. You should always do this for your customers, but sometimes you gotta add in that little extra sauce. So we're gonna set this up and then we're gonna get into it. All right, so got the heater warmed up. Now I'm just looking for my coffee. Can't forget the coffee. Super strong. So what I usually do is to make sure that the shirts are on right, I always find like the perfect spot in the middle of the shirt, like on each side. Put my thumb there and then flip it, put it all the way on. Make sure the loop is like proportionate, and then I pull it to like where I need it to go. Mark the plats in. Got the red ink. I already ran a test print. Now we print the actual order. Team Blancas, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So that's the back of all the shirts. So like they'll be able to identify the boxers, the camp that he's a part of in Milwaukee. So boxing is a really fun sport to watch. I really enjoy it. I've never actually done it in real life. I've played soccer and football and basketball. But I'm thinking about getting into boxing. You know, I am pretty fit. I go to the gym almost every day. And with soccer, I know how to stay in shape by eating healthy and like working on my cardio, because soccer, that's a big cardio sport. Like similar to cross country, I've never really done cross country, but I've been around a lot of like cross country people, and their fitness level when it comes to like cardio and like running is pretty much like what I can do. Like, you know, I've ran half marathons before on my own. So it's a skill that I definitely know that I can get back into if I start to do it. So I've been going to the gym and doing a lot of stairs. Like yesterday I did 25 floors in 5 minutes, which isn't too much, but I usually try to stay at 100 every time I do it. But sometimes, you know, like the gym's gonna close or you get tired, and I don't really want to force it. But I always try to stay at 5 minutes with 25 floors. If I'm gonna do 5 minutes, I have to do at least 25 floors. My goal is to do 100 floors in 15 minutes. I think I could do that. But yeah, that's what kind of makes me want to get back into sports. I play basketball a little bit, not as much as I'd like to, but boxing seems to be a sport that I think I can thrive at. You know, I'm pretty good in most things that I do, smart. I feel like once I start boxing, and if I start boxing, I can be good at it. And I hear stories of like, in order to be a professional fighter, you have to start when you're a kid, which makes a lot of sense. For like the reasons when it comes, like I think you have to start when you're a kid for like the development reasons. So like discipline, to build healthy habits, and the only thing that would, and strength, and like, you know, physical reasons. But I think if I practiced enough, like skill wise, I can like almost catch up. But I could be wrong, you know, like I think about basketball when I think of that. Like, you know, I grew up playing basketball every day, almost a few hours every day, so that I was able to like compete with other kids that were like really good at it. So I had the skill. I didn't have the height. I mean, I'm not short, I'm 6 foot, but these, like, to play like pro, you gotta be like 6'6", being able to dunk, all that type of stuff. So for boxing, like, these people have been doing it for so long. But then I think, like, were they doing it all day? Like, didn't they have school? Like, I'm sure, like, if I spent 6 hours a day training for like half a year, I could become a beast. But who knows? Also, there's this quote that says, like home runs are easier to hit than base hits. I mean, obviously that's an analogy, but they say that because so many people are aiming just to get a base hit that like there's less competition for like the home runs. So like they say fishing is better where the least amount of people go fishing. So if there's like oversaturation in one thing, then it's going to be hard to compete in that. So like boxing, how many people really got the time and money to invest into a boxer? And then usually there's only like growing up, I knew a bunch of basketball players, I knew a bunch of soccer players, I knew a bunch of football players, and then you only know like a handful of boxers, and then they're all different ages from different cities and different towns. So I feel like if I really like put my time and effort into it, I could do it. I don't know if I'm going to, but I think it's possible. And that's for anybody. Like, if you have a dream and a goal and you don't see a lot of people doing it, I think you could do it. Like even with UFC, like in my city, we got a bunch of UFC fighters, and it just seems like, from like being around them, they don't seem like they're these like Steve Jobs or like these LeBron James type of people. They just like dedicated themselves to it, took it serious, and like did the work. And yeah, that's a lot, but I feel like if you just do that, you can make it. Especially in those fields where there's not a lot of competition. Yeah, it's hard, like you're going against hard competition, but what I mean is like not a lot of competition, whereas like there's not 100 people shooting for that same position. There's like 2 or 3. And yeah, those 2 or 3 are gonna be tough, but you're more likely to get an opportunity because there's only 2 or 3. So I got this heater on, dressed in a hoodie. Usually you'll never catch me in a hoodie here, just because there's no ventilation in the shop when it comes to like heat. And the heaters, we got the heaters, the flash dryers, conveyor. So if you know anything about screen printing, you know it's really, really hot. So now in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, we're right next to Lake Michigan, in the northern part of the U.S. So it can get really cold in the winter, around February, but right now it's fall, so it's like hoodie weather. So I have the doors open, and it's just a perfect mix with this heater, and then the doors, temperature is just perfect. So for a person, like when I'm not working, I love the summer, but being in the shop in the fall is the best time. You keep the doors open, the temperature is good, it's comfortable. All right, so now that they're done, what I'm gonna do next is set up the front prints and get those going. All right, so now we're gonna be printing the fronts. So I figured out a way to do this with some of the sizes, but I would be careful that you can't do this with all of them. So he wanted the Benavidez, Team Benavidez, which is Jose Benavidez and David Benavidez. Those are like the main fighters, their camp logo here, and then Daniel Blancas logo here. So instead of doing 2 screens, I was able to get the measurements correct and the placements correct. So I can just do one print, kind of like how I just did. And the placement's perfect. Left chest, their logo, right chest, other logo. So this will work for all of the larges. And maybe the XLs, possibly the mediums, but it definitely won't work for the smalls. So we'll just have to tape one up, measure that, and then tape the other one, measure that. But this is definitely gonna save us some time. Team Benavidez, Daniel Blancas. I really like Benavidez. He's a really good fighter. Daniel Blancas from Milwaukee. He's a really good fighter too, and he's humble. You know, he has a good family. All of his family's in boxing. All the younger brothers, all the cousins. You know, the dad's the trainer, and the dad's super humble. The dad is really passionate about boxing, cares about his family, and it's just really cool to see somebody who's family oriented and who make sure that his kids are being held accountable, and he shows them love, shows them discipline. He's always there, and then his brother is training their kids as well. So it's a big family. You see, boxing has a rich history of boxers. Shorty was a great trainer. He isn't there now. There's a new guy there who's been around for a while. He necessarily isn't like a boxing dude. He's just like more of a fan of it. So he's kind of been in there taking the place of Shorty because his dad, I guess, works for the U.S. boxing, so it's just like the way to kind of control the program still. He kind of trains more of like starting like the new generation of boxers, like the people who are hobbyists. So it is still a cool program. There are a lot of boxers coming out of there, but I think the program is slowly dying. But what's keeping it alive is these boxers that use the gym as a home base, like Daniel Blancas. That's kind of keeping the credibility there. Also, like the boxers that used to be a part of it, like Luis Feliciano, who's now in Vegas, or I think in Arizona with Salas Boxing, he's a professional fighter. He's won titles. Luis Cuba Arias, who was signed with Mayweather, and there's a couple other dudes like Javi. I don't know their names, but they're pretty poppin'. They're pretty good at fighting. But yeah. Now the gym is more focused on like partnerships and like making money, working with like Marquette and like giving like these like university students like an intramurals opportunity with using boxing. So that's cool. You know, boxing is really important. It's good fitness. But when I was a kid and when my dad was a kid, the boxing gym was like a serious place that like helped people who were like gang members, involved in the streets and didn't have like discipline or wanted to be a part of something. They kind of gave them those foundations to be strong men and strong women, you know. And UCC, you know, like there's pictures of the trainer taking pictures of Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Jorge, or just like every single like major boxing icon, because it was a premier gym, you know. Super grassroots though, but that's what kind of gave it its grit. And so this is a fighter that's kind of from that era still, but I feel like it's the last of that era. And he has a huge opportunity to be huge. The last person to have that opportunity was Luis Arias, Cuba, but he kind of fell off in like the marketing wise. Like he was a part of Mayweather, and he kind of went AWOL a little bit. And he lost like a fight against Danny Jacobs, which he did really good. You know, he held his ground, but I think the way he presented himself in that fight, like during that promotion, is what lost him the fan base. If he would have kind of stayed humble and stayed to himself, he would have kind of took off. Instead, he did a bunch of like theater type of things where he wore a mask, which people were like, what the heck? Like even like people who thought that stuff was cool was like, bro, this is pretty lame. So yeah, he I really haven't seen him since. But he's still good. Luis Feliciano, he signed. He lost his last fight, but he's still, you know, he lose some, but he's a great fighter. I think he still is in that spot where he can, you know, blow up still. He's a great fighter. He's signed to a good boxing organization. And these are all Latino fighters from UCC. Also, there's a bunch of others. There's like 3 other dudes that are like around my age, even a little bit younger. I don't remember their names. They're pretty dope too. They're famous. I think they boxed with Feliciano. All right, well, these shirts are done for the most part. Then the next step is what we talked about from doing the sleeves. So I'm gonna get these organized, get these folded, just so that they don't get wrinkled. And then I'm gonna prep the next step. And then I'll tell you what brand I use and how do I order them. And I'll go through the whole process of setting it up. So.
Cheeseburger is Jewish in that joke. No, I'm kidding. The cheeseburger is whatever type of cheeseburger you thought it was in your racist heart. Anyway, that's it. I just get online, read opinions from people. The news, like other news, is kind of like, this is the most divided this country has ever been. It's like the red states and the blue states. It's like, why? Because we tweet at each other? You know we had a war, right?
These are the transfers I use right here. These PPD iron-on transfers. But you got to be careful because it's one for dark garments and then one for light garments. The one with light garments, these are the transfers right here. The PPD iron-on transfers for dark garments. But I use for light garments too. But the light garments you have to use on white shirts only. And they look pretty professional. These last in the shower. I mean, not in the shower, in the washer. So this is the one I go to. I order these on Amazon. So PPD iron-on transfer, 11 by 17, but there's 8.5 by 11, but these work the best. So what I do is there's a line in the sleeve and that kind of marks the middle. So what I do is I place that, make sure it's flat, and I'll rip the back off and iron it on. So sometimes it can be hard to peel it from the corner. So what I do is just like rip it carefully and peel it. And I place it, grab the parchment, and then use the iron. Add some pressure. There you go. And then these transfers are stretchy. They feel really good, and then when you wash them, they don't peel off. So I did the Mexican flag. Same thing with that one. American flag. This is how the shirts look. These are pretty awesome. Alright, so I've just printed these out on 11 by 17 form because that's how big they are. So they're about, the Mexican flag's about 1.5 inches wide, and so is the American flag. So I just lined them all up and put as many as I could on one sheet. And then I'll cut them out. So I try to stay as close to the line on the top as possible. And then right here I'll make a little adjustment to cut that out so that it doesn't show up on the t-shirts. And I know people like to shy away from using transfers, but this quality transfer is really, really good. As long as you have a really good printer and you put a little effort and time into doing this, you can get a good quality product at the end. Also, this brand is really quality, so you can wash it a bunch of times. I mean, this is how it looks ironed on. Feel pretty good. Same with these flakes. Super good quality. And so I did a bunch of them already. These ones, I need 10 more, so I'm not gonna cut out the whole sheet so that I could use them for the future orders, but I just got 3 so far. So I'll print out the rest, or I'll cut out the rest. And we'll go from there. So actually I have 5 already. So I'll just do 5 more.